Hey everyone, it's Karen from Fox in the Garden. I am getting ready for the 2023 garden season. Woohoo! So behind me is the old garden from last year. I didn't quite put it to bed, but it's gonna get fixed up. And then over here is a new space that I am getting ready to prep for. So join me today for some things that maybe you could do, or if you just want to see what I do, to get your garden ready for the spring, summer, and fall of the upcoming year. So right now I have been utilizing this space over here for my garden and this space for my chickens. I used to have a nice little square spot, but I am moving these guys out and over there. So that's the coop I'm gonna redo, and then chickens will be separate from the garden, but they'll still be close enough that I can like throw scraps out to them or use their manure for compost, etc. So it won't be far at all. So today I am going to take apart this old chicken coop, which I said I was going to repair, but I decided to repair the little coop instead. My little coop looks like it's actually in slightly better shape. I'm gonna fix it up, make it look pretty, add a new electric fence around it, and keep it in between my shed and my house just to provide an extra layer of protection. Now I was gonna put the chickens, I don't know if you can see this big tree back here. I was gonna put the chickens like off on the side here, but a little concerned about the tree allowing predators to sit up in the top and perch and eat my chickens. So I'm not gonna do that. So if I put it between the house and the shed, I think it will discourage the predators. I'll have an electric fence and all will be well. But today I just need to get ready for the spring. So I'm gonna plat out my beds. So in another video I did a quick little summary of what I was gonna plant and how I was gonna shape the beds, and I'll show that to you soon. And take this chicken coop down. So that's really the first steps here. So we're gonna plan. I did a paper plan first. So I plotted out all my spots. I planned which plants or which veggies I was gonna grow. And now I'm gonna put that on the ground. And then the next step would be to build the beds. And the step after that would be to plant. I also have to redo the fence because, as you can see, I've had some construction back here that has messed my fence up. So I have a lot of work to do to get ready for this garden this year. I also plan on doing no dig, no till this year. So I kind of did that with these beds over here. It was a quick version of it. But basically the idea is that you don't disturb the soil at all. So I won't be tilling. I'm just gonna lay some cardboard down to kill the immediate grass. I'm gonna get that nice and soaked, and then I'm gonna put the soil and compost and all the good stuff on top, and that's how I'll plant it. Generally speaking, you use mulch. You can see the old mulch here I have to keep the weeds out. You just have to stay on top of it. And then in the winter, you would generally cover it, which I did not get to this year. I guess I still have time. So that's probably part of what I'll do at some point in the coming weeks. But that is really the plan for today. I am excited to get this season rolling. I usually get a little antsy at this time of year to try to get my hands in the garden, but these are the things that you can do. You can get your garden space ready, you can start building your soil up, and you know, those types of things are what you can do. Maybe if you want to try a new type of gardening, this would be the time of year to start thinking about it and maybe put some of those things into action. This is also a great time of year to start stockpiling things. Every paycheck, I'm always like, put a little bit of money towards the garden. I don't have a ton of money and I have to do everything myself. So I really depend on, you know, doing things here and there when I can. So I use whatever time I can to work on the garden. I use whatever little bit of money I have to work on the garden, and I just sort of stockpile all of that and plan it out so that I make sure that I get stuff done when I need to get stuff done. Anyways, let's get started. Don't forget the safety glasses.
I saw you before the old fox could dig, and I knew you'd be worth worth all my son could give. Skirting around in the night, preparing a din that feels just right. No, not my son, no place to call home, 'cause he knew you'd give him one. I loved you before the old bird could sing, and I knew then your heart would be worth a king.
Well, that about does it. I finished deconstructing it. I think I am going to keep some parts of it that are still good. So there's a lot of this like wood siding I can recut to use to maybe mend and fix the old one. Really, the only issue is the roof and the bottom. So the bottom pieces of wood were in contact with the ground, which meant that it was against the water and whatnot, causing it to rot. And then the top obviously bears the brunt of the water. Everything else wasn't in too bad of shape, but I think I just really want to have a small coop, one that I can move around. I won't fit as many chickens, but I honestly only keep 4 to 5 chickens, usually not many more. And I think the little coop will serve me better for now. But here is the new space. So what I'm really excited about is now I have all of this space over here and all of this space over here to add to my garden. So I have here's a nice panoramic. So I got all along this fence line up into about there, and then all of this space for garden. And then I'll move around and all of this space, and then I'll have a little storage spot for my garden tools. And then there's my old garden space from last year. I'll probably move these planters around. But yes, I am super excited to get started. So I gardened the whole area when I first got in. So when I first moved here, we put the fence up and I actually had a garden in this whole space. And that's when I added the chickens and used half the space. One, because at the time I was less disciplined. I also think I just had a kid and I didn't really have the foresight or the know-how to get it all done. Things have changed in my life. I have a little bit more time. So I think I can manage this whole space now. So it's really exciting because now I get to envision what I'm going to do with it. And while I have it on paper, it's kind of exciting to just see it right now. So here's my garden plan for this year. So 3 rows I already exist. This is my compost bin, and really everything in the top part of this page exists, and everything on the lower part of this page does not exist, and I have to build. So what I'm gonna do today, I did a lot of trail work in my life and trust these handy dandy pin flags for doing such tasks here. And so basically I'm going to take the pin flags and I'm going to mark the 4 corners of each part. So I have to make, it looks like, 4 square beds and 2 long skinny beds. And those are really the new ones. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do it. In the past, and when I first started my gardens, I used to like measure things out and draw them to scale. And I got really OCD about it, but now I've learned, it doesn't really matter. What matters the most is that I can fit the lawnmower between rows, because that's a lot easier than weed whacking this whole thing for sure. So I'm gonna make sure I have enough width to get the push mower through, so I'm not weed whacking things to death. It's always more of a chance for mistakes with the weed whacker anyway. So let me do that. I'll show you how it goes in my garden. This is how I do it every year. I usually use these pin flags, or if I'm building new beds at least. And then I just kind of square it off. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to this. And really what we're doing here today are just some really low maintenance, no dig, no till beds. So I'm choosing to do a no dig, no till garden this year because one, I can carry bags of soil in, or I can get a big load of dirt. I just simply put cardboard down, which is free. I got a local supplier nearby who can easily supply me with some cardboard. So that's no problem. I put the cardboard down on the squares. I'm gonna water it. I'm gonna throw the garden soil on and compost. And really, it's just that simple. Then you put your plants in and you keep the grass from growing and you weed it. And so that's what I'm really hoping is gonna work this year. I don't need to go buy a raised bed or build it. I was going to do that. I thought about it because this grass is crazy and maybe one day I will do it. But for right now, we're just sticking with the no dig, no till. The bed, I mean, I think even just a crappy little like aluminum one on Amazon was like $100 a bed, and I'd probably need like 6 of them. So that's like $600 up front, when already your soil is probably going to be your most expensive thing. So I'd rather just stick it on the ground. It's Mother Nature's way of doing it anyways. And then we'll go from there. So I also need to cover these old beds up so I can get the weeds out before summertime. So maybe not today, maybe another day. Anyways, let's get started. All right, well, it's coming together. I know it's probably not easy for you to see, but this is what I have here. So I am going to generally be putting soil right here. So this is going to be a spot where I dump soil and mulch and whatnot. And then I'm going to go through the fence right here to put the stuff in the garden. So this is going to be my walkway with my wheelbarrow. So I'm gonna come in and then I can amend all of my soil and whatnot from there. So now we're gonna look over here. So I am going to grow, this is the goal at least, everything changes, right? I'm gonna grow some Kalima beans. This is gonna be my bean spot this year. So as you can see, it's gonna be a square plot. And then I'm gonna have enough space for the mower. And then this is going to be onions. So it's the first time I'm growing onions, so pretty excited about that. These green stalks will move. And then there should be enough room in between this row and the next row to run the mower. And then this is going to be a long bed. And this is going to be, so it's gonna go this way. So you can actually see where I used to have the not railroad ties, but the landscaping ties right there. And so this is where I'm going to grow my green beans, my like pole beans, and my cucumbers. That's exciting. More space for the push mower, because no thank you weed whacking. And then this is harder to see, but this is also another long bed. So this is going to be tomatoes and peppers, probably my favorite thing in the garden. This is that walkway I showed you. And then over here are going to be watermelon and potatoes. And these are 2 square plots. So watermelon, actually it's probably gonna be Kajari melons this year. And then potatoes. So I realized that my video cut off in my closing statements. So I'm just popping on to say, hey, while I'm editing. And thank you for watching Fox in the Garden. I hope you enjoyed my wrap up of planning my garden out this year for the 2023 season. I hope to be bringing in, well, actually, I hope to fix my fence next and then hopefully bring in some soil and stuff after that. I do have to start some tomatoes and peppers soon, so I'm really just getting the show rolling. So thanks for watching, and I just enjoy sharing my gardening experience with other, hopefully, gardeners or people interested in living and learning about a sustainable lifestyle. So growing your own food obviously has many benefits. So I hope to inspire a little bit of that. And thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, go ahead and hit that like button. You must hear every YouTuber say this, but it does absolutely help our channels grow and keep us doing what we're doing. And, you know, subscribing would also help a great deal too. So thank you. Take care.